Well, good evening, folks. Welcome back to VP4TV. It's going to be a quick one tonight. Friday night 9 ball starts in about a minute, and there are still 6 spots available. So it's going to be a shortish tournament. Obviously, again, in this country, the good weather. It's dry. It's quite warm down south. So quite a lot of those guys possibly out and about, making the most of the good weather. Longer days, lighter nights. It's that time of year. So the draw should be getting made any second now, and of course we're going to have a whole barrel load of buys. We've got 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Well, we'll get 12 in now. So still 4 spots available. I reckon that's it. No Larry tonight. Spectre Don's in. Mooncake's in. Coldest Pillow, Eloquente, John Boo, Christian, MC Clarkey, Mooncake, Scooby, Sergresh, Spectre Don, Stefan, Tommy, and Wink at Me is in. So we've got 12 in, and we should be up and running. So looking at the draw, I am going to go straight into that Wink at Me Mooncake match. And cloth's the right colour, nobody's in the room. So welcome to our viewers. We've got matches over the weekend and early Monday afternoon. I'm going to be covering one match in the I can't remember what tournament it is now. I think it's LS3's in it. But anyway, it's on Sunday night at 7 o'clock, so I'll be covering that one. And Slim's going to be doing a couple of matches as well. There will be, I think, at least one match over the weekend that we won't be able to get a live stream on because it's too late for me, and Slim will be busy at that time. So this match, of course, like all first round matches in Friday night 9 ball, race to 7. It's a handicap tournament. It's a money ball handicap, but this match we'll find out in a second. Who the hell is Wink at Me playing again? Who did I say? Mooncake. Is Mooncake signed up and not arrived again? Let's leave the room. Because I don't see Mooncake in the lobby. It might be a no-show. Yeah, I definitely don't see the name. No point in sitting in a room there waiting and somebody turn. Yeah, that's the match, Tommy. That's the match I'll be covering. Your match with LS3. I couldn't remember who the hell she was playing. And you'll notice that this rack is one of those racks where the 3 balls are lined up at an angle, with the 9 ball not moving off the spot. That is a fairly regular occurrence in 9 ball now since the physics change. And it seems all too often those balls are lined up like that. Which, if you go by a real life table and matches I've seen on live streams, very rarely you're going to get balls sitting like that all the time, in an all too regular occurrence. So Steve might have to look at that. So Matt's up against a generous enough handicap if Coldest Pillow can get the use of it. And of course, that I wonder if everybody should have looked at this 7-9 because it's not set. But of course, that 7 ball is Coldest Pillow's first money ball, and that's not going to do any good sitting there. Now that 6 ball, clearly you can get to it, and he's way behind it. Dodgy cut, but that needs to keep rolling, and it hasn't. Now Matt can pot the 6, and the 7 will go, and he can come around the other side, and he needs to dink this in, and well, he's going to have a tough one. This is awkward. Awkward shot queuing over that 8 ball. Problem is, he can't get into the cue ball, really. He's going to have to try and force it through, and well, Coldest Pillow's got a gift of a start here. Ball in hand to just roll the 7 in. Well, if all the racks end up like that, Coldest Pillow will have an easy first round match. So I hope the sound is okay. I did manage to get the game audio fixed. So Coldest Pillow's just gone a wee bit further here. This is by no means easy. This is a 2-9 combo, but that's a clean 2 ball past the 9, and the 3 is sitting very nicely, thank you very much, and it'll be a 6-9 combo here, which is simply unmissable as long as you get to the rail. Just a little roll through, and it couldn't be any easier than that. Even I could pot that combo. So there you go. Well, almost tried to follow it in, but it's 2-0. Break is dry. Matt under a little bit of pressure to dish up here, and he's fairly straight in the 1 ball, 2 over the side, and with a table like this, you know what I'm usually going to say, he should be out. And he almost tried to lock himself behind the 4, he's fine. Slim, 1 pocket Slim normally is an entrant to this tournament, but he's busy working most of this week. So Matt should be off the mark here. I think he just needs to go forward here and around the corner as he tries to dig in. He's digging in. And that's the danger with that. And that, with any more pace, would have scratched in that corner there. But it's easy now, just a roll in and a roll in the 8. Or a stop shot in the 8, more likely. Well, probably not now because he's left himself just to roll in with the cue ball being on the cushion. It's just a simple enough roll in shot. So Mark off and running, or Matt off and running, not Mark. Now Stubbs said he sent a proposal to Bedhead for their match in the Bankpool tournament, but Bedhead hasn't responded, probably because Bedhead's busy doing stuff. That's why he's not here. Again with this table, fully expect Matt to be all square. He needs well, he needs a decent angle in that, ain't it? He's dead straight in this 4-ball. It just makes life tricky now. Stub, why are you in the room when you were in the stream 5 minutes ago? Why do you have to get in the room and start typing bullshit? Cue ball. Oh dear. What's he done here? He's actually got himself hooked. Couldn't have stuck it in any worse position than that. Well, the one good thing about it is it's not potable from there, but got to look at the kick angle, and that ain't it. I don't know, it's just probably before that first diamond. That looks reasonable enough. That's perfect. So that's another one that's got away there for Matt. Finished in a horrible spot, and it's 3-1. Again, oh, the 1 ball I think is gone. Or was that the 9? No, it was the 1. And nicely on the 2. Well, back across for the 3. Don't want to dink behind the 7 though. Oh well, it's. I think there's still enough of that 3 ball to go. That was well done, and it needs to hold up. Well, got to be the jump stick to the rescue. I don't know how cold the Spillo feels with the jump stick. I don't think I've ever seen them enough to know, but we're about to find out. Well, there's many a player would jump that 6 ball no problem, and that's going to be a ball in hand to Matt because the ball hasn't got to a rail after hitting the object ball. So looks like Coldest Pillow's a bit like me with the jump stick, not very good at it because that jump there wasn't a problem to get to that 4 ball or whatever ball it was. I can't remember now. But Matt should be back within 1. Oh, he's running the cue ball again, and this might end up. Oh, I think he's okay. Can just feather this in. Always dangerous when you start running the cue ball. Well, for anybody who doesn't know, Steve has got the next Virtual World Championship tournament set. It isn't open for sign-ups yet, but I never got a chance to look at the link that he posted last night, but it is going to be 8 ball on the bar table, and it's been probably a couple of years since we had the last 8 ball on the bar table, and I believe that it possibly was Semi-Pro that won that. I could be wrong. Well, mistakes are getting made, and it's 4-1 to Coldest Pillow now. That's why that 7 and out handicap is very dangerous for Matt, if he's making mistakes at the wrong time, Coldest Pillow can just come in and pinch these racks, and that's what's been happening. Nice little bang, a little dink, 2-3 combo. Oh, we need to dink it harder than that though. Well, Matt's going to have to billiard the 3 in. The problem is where the 2 ball's going to end up and where the cue ball's going to finish. He doesn't want to follow this 3 ball into the hole. And he's hoping to get a lucky roll in the 2. And he hasn't got it. I don't know that he can cut that. That looks... Well, I might be wrong. It's well off the rail, but you've got to just feather this and no more. And he's got it. And this 4 ball is as good as frozen to the rail. He's got to be careful of that as well. And no position on the 5. So again, it's happening at the wrong time for Matt. He's got to get cover. Well, Matt lost a tough match with Albinario last night in the Bankpool Virtual World Championship. I think it was 6-3 to Albinario. And Matt certainly played a lot better in his previous match. A lot of it didn't fall into shape for Matt last night, but Albinario did the business. Now, as far as I know, the sign-ups aren't open for that 8-ball tournament. Steve just posted a link last night in the stream so the guys could see the setup, but it wasn't open to sign-ups. It's only it's at the created stage, I believe. He has to go in and activate it. So this time Matt's going to get the job done. Still trailing by 2 though. That one's dry. Dry but safe. Now, of course, got to try and get this right where you see that's caught the ball, the 1 ball half ball. If you could have got right behind that 1 ball, you could have possibly stopped a cue ball behind a bunch of balls and sent that 1 ball up the table to where it is. But only catching a half ball, the cue ball's followed it up the table. And this is a wee bit tricky also to get out of there, avoiding traffic. It looks fairly difficult to do. You'll do well to get out of there without colliding with something, unless he banks this. Although he's banked it, got a nice little brush off the 4, but unfortunately the 2 didn't go in. And that'll do. That's a full ball snooker, pretty much. Now, where do you go to kick that? Because it's got to be. Well, he's trying to spin around the 4 to try and catch this. Well, that was well done. Now, Is that still a foul though? Yep, because he never got a rail again after hitting the object ball. Good afternoon, good evening to Bill. You could have played in this tonight, Bill. There's only 12 in it. 4 empty seats. Well, 3 balls hanging, but Matt is in trouble. Now he's going to fancy jumping over this 5. Fairly tightish. Not got a lot of room. Has it got the legs? I think it has. That was well done. Well, there's a result through, and Scooby has taken out Tommy by 7 racks to 3. Now, I don't know what level Scooby plays at, or whether he was getting a hefty handicap. Now, that 5 ball, plenty of room to cut the 5 in. That was nicely played. Well, it's a bit fiddly in the 6 though, but loads of room to get out, and then behind that 7, that was well done. So here we go. 7 ball for the rack and a 5-2 lead. Yeah, what, Bill? I know how you feel. I'll get that to look forward to tomorrow again. Usual thing on a Friday night for me. I'm already getting tired. Thank God this is... Oh, hang on a minute. Where's the cue ball going? Thank God this isn't a full tournament, so it shouldn't be overly long tonight. So the error has been made. The problem is, look at the state of the table up top. Mal, why am I calling him Mal again? That's twice I've called him Mal, I think. In fact, no, tell a lie, I've called him Mark so far. Now I've called him Mal. And he couldn't have finished in any worse position here. Well, he's going to give it a blast, I think. And I think he'll settle for that. Is there a gap there? You know what? There is a gap, and that 6 will go. Perfect little window just to go through on the 6. Well, it's a little bit of a cutback, but I would expect to get this myself, this 7 ball. This for 6-2. Oh, you've got to get the cut though. You've got to get the cut. And again, it is there is still a shot on here for Matt. Tough one though, but he's got to go for it. He could. I don't know whether he can bank it, but certainly you can cut it. And that was nicely played. Got to dig out another one though. Again, this is, you know, I always give these one look, and you either see the line or you don't. He's just overcut it a tad. I never like to spend a lot of time studying the angle of a cut, because I think the more time you spend studying something, the more of a problem you see. You're far off better just looking at it. It's, you either, as I say, you either see the angle or you don't. There's no point in hanging around. But Matt's going to get out of jail here. He's still in touch, but still trailing by 2. Now, having said that, Bill, It's strange how you're at work, but you've still got time to sit and watch VP4. You've got a hard life, so you have, Bill. So, 2 ball has gone down in the break, but no shot on for Matt. Nearly said it wrong again. And well, Coldespillo could play the one or put Matt back in. But the fact that he's decided to play has to get it reasonably safe, and I'm not sure that that's it. Well, I think the bank is on, certainly. Well, a good effort. But Matt hasn't got it easy here. The first problem is getting on this 3-ball. And I think I don't think he was planning on missing the one to start with. He's maybe thinking, even though he's missed that, he's probably going to another go at this. Now, the 3-ball will go. You've just got to make sure you don't catch that side pocket trying to push it to the rail and squeeze it past the 7. Loads of room. Well, Coldespillo's got to get in and around the back of this 6. And that's a nice angle. And this should be going up top of the 7. You just pot the ball and let the cue ball run out. Nothing else to do with the cue ball. Just let it run out of pace, and a straight in 7, and he'll be on the hill. And then again, when you look at the score, it's a long way back for Matt, given 7 and out. I think it's dry again though. Dry and no shot for Matt, just a push out somewhere. And of course the other problem is immediate after the 1-ball, because the 2-ball's dead. It's not in a healthy position at all, tucked behind that 4. So there's going to be a wee bit of jiggery pokery, as they say, going on before this rack's sorted out. Well, the amazing thing about our weather for the last couple of weeks here, we've had little or no rain. Now, most people that know Scotland's weather, and with me being on the western side of Scotland, most of our prevailing weather comes in off the Atlantic. And usually we can expect rain from time to time, shall we say, but for the last couple of weeks it's been pretty dry, and the week ahead is pretty dry as well, so this is as good as it gets in Scotland. If you go for a couple of weeks and you don't have a lot of rain, it's, believe me, it's good weather. So Matt has ball in hand, but he hasn't really made a good job of that, because he could be in trouble here himself. That 2 and 4 ball are just asking to be tucked behind. I mean, that's exactly where I'm heading, and I don't know that this has got the legs. I mean, look at the line was almost there. It was going to run into the 2 and 4. But Matt can do the same thing, and I would expect him to get a bit close. He needs a bit of left English on it though. He hasn't hit it. He has not hit that at all. You've got to be brave. That was going to scratch, by the way. If it had the legs, it would have ended up in the hole. But those are the kind of little shots I like. Using that left-hand spin to get around the corner and down and duck away behind that 2 and 4. So there's the next result through, and Spectre Dawn off and running. Well, there's a bonus for Coldest Pillow. The 1 goes around the table, bumps the 2 in. Got to force this in to get the cue ball out. That was well done. And this is the match winning opportunity. Remember, only needs to get to the 7 ball. And the 7 ball is going to get bumped here. But the 7 ball is fine. In fact, the problem's now the fact he's dead straight in the 4. 6 ball wide open in the middle of the table. So anywhere with a sight on this 6 ball, and it's just a gentle roll in. And this match is over. So 7 and out is dangerous. And it's a 7-3 win for Coldest Pillow. So there's a good start to the night for Coldest Pillow. Taking out one of the stronger players. And Matt's going to have to do the hard work on the 1 loss side. So that concludes that match. Let's have a look and see what we've got now. We've got Scooby is in playing Sergeresh in the round 2 match at Scratch. We've still got Wink at Me, and that match is underway, so let's go back into that one. Mooncake obviously showed up, so we'll dive in there if we can catch the end of it. And Mooncake is getting the 8 ball and is 5-3 up at the moment. Wink at Me should be back within 1 though. Oh, and that's what I meant to ask you, Bill, if you're still there. I take it you're healing up okay. I take it all the stitches are out and everything's healing up nicely. Forgot to ask you that. I meant to ask you that 2 or 3 nights ago. I had it in my head and then it totally went out of my head. Now, full every day. What the hell does that mean, Bill? There's something I'm not understanding in the translation there. I'm not following you, Bill. That proves you aren't listening. I was asking how's the operation healing up? You know you had an operation, didn't you? And I think you were all stitched up. I'm just asking if you've got everything. All the stitches are out and you're healing up nicely. Alright, 2 ball. Has it got cover? Yes, it has. Easy kick. You want to just get right into the corner and try and bunt this 2 ball up the table and leave the cue ball up there. Well, Wink at Me's looking at the other way. I'd have went left-hand side. Left-hand side looks a better bet to me. Well, this may well be left on, or the 4 ball might come to the rescue. 70% mobility. Well, that's better than nothing at all. Of course, something like that takes a while because there's a lot of muscle healing to go on. Look at that for a fluke in the 9. Yeah, it takes a while for the muscles to regenerate. You know, so there's a lot of damage done when they start hacking into you with scalpels and stuff. So, you know, it's slowly but surely, and take it easy. So, Mooncake gets away with one there. Handy fluke. And needs just one more. But that looks dry, I think. It looks dry, and Wink at Me has a table that has got one problem, and that problem is the 3 ball. I mean, it's off the rail, but it's just in an awkward spot. And you've got to get to that off the 2. Now, having said that, the angle that he's got in the 2 is perfect just to drop the 2 in and roll across. As close to this side rail as you can. The 4 ball's handy, so there's not a lot going to be done with the cue ball, and that's not going on the line. And Wink at Me is one of these players that doesn't get in an awful lot now to play virtual pool for. It's every now and again, and that's the problem. Coming in cold, a bit like me last week. Coming in cold with absolutely no table time, no sense of the pace, struggling for control, and struggling to pick the line there, because that was not a difficult cut for a regular player. You know, you play those shots all the time, and that's a chance that has gone away there, and it might be the last chance for Wink at Me. Because Mooncake should be well home and dry here in a couple of minutes. And that, going back to that first answer, Bill, that first answer looks like it was the answer to a question that somebody was asking you at work. Something like, how busy are you? Oh, we're full every day. Because I was scratching my head saying, what the hell, Bill answered me that? Wait, I haven't a clue what he's talking about. Well, anyway, Mooncake is home and dry. A 7 racks to 4 win. Wink at Me moves across to the 1 loss side. So, with only 12 in, we're moving on sharpish. Coldest Pillows now playing Stefan. That's a scratch match. Coldest Pillows up 1-0. Scooby is playing Sergresh. So I think what we'll do is we'll get into this, and that's about to update. Let me just change the time on that. That's just about to update. So Eloquenti is going to be playing Mooncake in a second or two. But I think we'll go in and have a look at this Scooby guy and see what's happening in this match. Well, Sergresh is 3-2 up. Let's find out. I think Scooby's from the UK, is he not? No, got that wrong. US. And Sergresh with a Belarus flag. Good evening to Cobra. Stubbs been on moaning before he arrived. He sent a proposal apparently to Bedhead for tonight. Bedhead's nowhere to be seen. And he's saying that Bedhead's on the run. So, Sergresh with a 2-rack gap. 8 ball in the break, no shot in the 1. Well, that 1 ball was never going to travel far, but it has finished safe though. And that looks, oh, that little nudge in the 7, I think it's still fine. Yeah, Stubb beat Slim 6 racks to 1. I watched that match. I didn't watch it live. I watched it the next day when I got home from work, and Slim was streaming and playing at the same time, which I never advise anybody to do. But Slim's idea was to do that, and he was all out attack, which cost him at the end. Well, I mean, Stubb can bank as good as the rest of them. The problem is that he hasn't, and you know that's the thing that Steve would point out. He hasn't thought of the consequences when he has been banking, and it's getting to the stage in the tournament now where the thought process has to work on the next shot, and that's maybe where Stubb's going to fail. But he's going along nicely at the moment, but we're all just waiting for him to trip up soon enough. So, Sergeresh at the table. I don't know whether I said that, but it is a scratch match, no handicap. And well, I think that might be the wrong side of the 4. Oh no, it isn't. That's perfect. This can just roll through out into the table. It's gone a wee bit too far because he was playing that into the side. And now it's got a wee bit awkward because the cue ball's possibly catching the 6. Unless you try to dink off this 5, but it's too thin a cut. Yeah, a little bumps in the right direction, that'll work. So everything's all good here. It's going to be 5-2. Well, you can gently drop this in. But he's come across the other side. No harm in that either. So Scooby is now the player with what to do now to stay in the match. 8 ball goes in top right. And the 1 ball is just in play. Or is it? No, it isn't. You can only see the edge of it and can't see enough of it to cut it, I don't think. But that cue ball had to miss the bump in the 6. It had to go up table. So Scooby's under a wee bit of pressure. Let's see how his nerve holds out. Again, a 2,100 rated player should still be able to run this table. Well, commentator's eye there, and commentator's voodoo has done him. He's tried to gently dink the 2 in rather than make sure it goes in, because you were always going to be in the 3 one way or another. And that's a big mistake. Can't be missing shots like that. Now this cue ball needs to keep running. Now, this is loads of action in the cue ball to get this running around the angles. And that wasn't it. It never got there. And the 3 ball never went into the hole. So Scooby's got another bite at the cherry here. And that's no good either. But this is again coming to the defence of the player. If Scooby is from the US, if he does get table time, then it's at a time when I'm in bed and never see him, because I've only seen him in this tournament this week. And this is probably the same problem a lot of players have, is that they don't get the table time, and the mistakes come thick and fast. And getting that cue ball up to that ball up top was not difficult. It was just the execution that wasn't right. And this might be ugly as well. because that's going to be hooked almost by the 9, and there is a, let's see if it looks like it from this side, there's a cross bank onto the corner there. Got to go for it, and that was well played. Commentator's eye called that one, but now it gets testy, and it could be a 2-rack swing here if this 7 doesn't go in. Well, in it goes. Not a problem. So just a little stun on the 9. And Sergresh is on the hill. Now that might have been a 3 ball that's gone in. And there's not enough of the 1 showing. So I'd be pushing out here. Well, if you're going to cut the 1, you can only see one part of it, so you're only going to be cutting it towards the 7. What you've got to be thinking about is where are you trying to spin the cue ball to? Well, he's hit it thicker than I thought. But again, the outcome is good. Oh, this might go. Well, that's one way of getting out of trouble. Well, having had the fluke, I always say it's not the fluke that matters, it's what you make from it that counts. And I think Scooby's immediately got himself in trouble again. And again, having to try the jump shot, catches the 9. And I would suggest that this match is over. Sergresh only has to kill the cue ball or come back a tad, bunt the 6 in, come back off the 7. Well, he might be running around the angles here. No, he's going to leave it long, and that's fine, because that's all you need to do is roll it in. You've still got the cut and the 9 for the match. Well, that wasn't a roll in, but it went in. He made sure it went in. So a 7-2 win for Sergresh, and I think that completes all. If I can get my buttons to work, where the hell is it? That's the one I'm looking for. That completes that second round match. No, what match was it? Aye, it does. So Sergresh is through to round 3. Coldest Pillow is playing Stefan at the moment, and it's 3-2 to Coldest Pillow. Mooncake's 1-0 with Eloquente. Spectre Dawn against John Boo. And we'll jump in to catch that match, because John Boo's, when he's on his game again, can be dangerous, especially when he's getting that 6 ball. And no sooner have I said that than he's missed a fairly straightforward 2 ball. Well, Spectre Dawn has got a problem. 2 balls a thin cut, cue balls running up and down the table, and it's all about judging the pace to get on the 3, and this looks good as long as it slows up. But the problem's not that, the problem's a 4, and the chances are that John Boo's going to be in trouble here off this 4 ball, unless Spectre Dawn thinks he can dig into the cue ball and get a bump on that 4 and 8. Well, he's trying to get up top. Can he get enough of that to make the cut? Oh yes, he can. Loads of room. It doesn't look like it from this end of the table. When you go up the top end, there's loads of room. You get a bus in there to cut that 4 ball. I've got a quick drink. I've got my reserve bottle here as well, because this one's almost done. In fact, I managed to squeeze it into the side. That's even better. and we'll just finish it off. Alright, that's another 2 litre bottle of water gone. So Spectre Dawn opens up the gap, but again, he's got to just be on his toes. Can't be making a mistake at the wrong time with this 6 ball as a handicap or a money ball for John Boo. Five ball in the side, and well, I think that's, he's got to cut that one up the way to cut across the 8, and the 1 ball is going to end up, well, in fact, Spectre Dawn's not interested. He's decided just to play the little safety, which has ended up giving John Boo a problem because the 9 ball's in the way, and he would have to play this with left English to spin to the rail to try and come back and combo that 1-8. Yeah, and that is a brilliant little shot there. I mean, he knew what he had to do there because the line was never going to hold to come back and catch that 1 ball, so he had to play that with left English to check it off the rail to alter the line of the cue ball, and he couldn't have played that any better. So, and again, you have to know that to be able to play that. Simple as that. You know, if you have no clue how to impart the English to readjust that cue ball, I mean, there's one thing knowing that, the other thing is actually executing it and getting it done. And he played that well. Or was it Spectre Dawn that did it? Wasn't it John Boo? What the hell am I talking about? I'm already falling asleep. But this is well, should be meat and drink here for Spectre Dawn. It would be a tremendous brain fart to mess this up. I think, was LS3 not in the final last week? I don't know where LS3 is this week. She's a no-show. I think she's been in maybe the last couple of Friday night 9 balls, but not this week. Maybe she's out in the town. 4 balls gone in. And the 1. And again, a tricky cut in this 2 ball, just cueing over the 6. But cue ball's going to be heading in the right direction for the 3. But this is a bit fiddly. You've got to get the pace and the cut to get the 2 ball to the hole. But again, he's not interested in taking that sort of risk. And again, he's come up this time with another good safety. But clearly, you know, Spectre Dawn's well wary of doing something daft that's going to give John Boo an easy way to win a rack, getting this 6 ball. So he's deciding to keep things tight. And John Boo got the hit, a legal hit. And Spectre Dawn again got to get a control of the cue ball here. He's left it in the short side, but This is a little dink. Just to get a hold of the cue ball, just to stop it running away, because you want to stay in the 5. And he's managed to pretty much hold it. Now, it wouldn't do any harm bumping into the 8 ball here and just playing that 6 ball up table. He's playing it with right English to, well, he has just chipped it, and that's fine. That's perfect. I mean, he can do whatever he wants now. He can go forward and spin over to the 7, or he can come back off the 6 and play the 7 up that way. So he has 2 choices. Looks as if he's going forward at the moment. In fact, he's just going forward enough to take this into the side, so Spectre Dawn will be on the brink once he completes this rack. So 6-2 lead, a long way back now for John Boo. 6 ball handicap or not, and he's going to have to be really solid if he's going to get anything remaining in this match. It's probably very unlikely. Spectre Dawn's got the 4 in, and he's not got a lot here with the 1 ball. I mean, he could have a go at the long combo. Well, again, he's just trying to not give it anything away by taking on something silly. But there is, well, that's one way of winning a rack. Not only did he fluke, I think, the 3, he fluked the 9 as well. You know, things like that can suddenly turn a match. It can end up getting really weird. He had 2 flukes in the 1 rack there on the 1 shot. And the table sitting good in this next rack. But immediately he's left himself awkward in the 2. I mean, that should have been back another 3 or 4 inches to make this 2 a lot easier. The problem is he had to stun the cue ball to keep it in play. And that shot there that John Boo's just played is more than likely going to be his last on this side of the draw. And again, loads of checking the cue ball there just to send it away from the 3 to open up an angle for a cut. Well, this is over 100%. And that's the result through from that match with Stefan and Coldest Pillow. Coldest Pillow's heading over to the 1 loss side. A 7 racks to 4 win for Stefan. And it's going to be a 7-2 win for Spectre Dawn. Right, so again, that's a couple more results through, and we'll see that Spectre Dawn in the bottom of the draw there is going to go through, and he's waiting on the winner of Mooncake and Eloquenti. And the 1 loss side, we've got Wink at Me and Scooby playing. Let's just jump into that, because Scooby is on the hill, only a race to 4, and he's still getting the 7 ball in this match. Well, Winkett was trying to get over the other side there. I don't believe he was trying to hold on the right side. He was just trying to stun it right across to squeeze the 2 in past the 4, but he didn't get there. Well, that's, I've said that many a time, touch like a sledgehammer. Well, this is giving Winkett a free go here. He's going to have to make the little 3-4 combo, but again, that should never be any sort of issue. The only problem is making sure you've still got a shot in the 3. And he has done. 3 bumps 8 out the way. And this is a nice little test of your touchiness with the cue ball here. If you're only going to dink the 3 in, you're just wanting up to the middle of the table for that 6 ball. Ideally, you want to leave the angle where you're just going straight onto the 7 from it. He's gone too far. Got to be a bit more gentle than that. Now this is now ended up really awkward. It's an awkward cut to start with, and the cue ball's heading in the wrong direction from the 7. And he's putting a bit of left English on it, which makes it even more difficult because you want to come back this way. And that was really tough. And all it does now is it gives Scooby the 6 ball and get a shot anywhere on the 7 if you can. He's got the little bump. Again, tight little angle into that side pocket, but anywhere towards the jaw, and it's gone in, and it's match over. Scooby survives. Winkett just needs a lot more table time. It's a 4-2 win on that 1 loss side. So now we will join the Mooncake Eloquenti match. Eloquenti's getting the 7 ball. We're 4 racks apiece. 7 ball is dead in the rail, and well, it's now opened up. 9 ball's been bumped out the way. Now you would really want to get the bottom side of this 7 at this end where we're looking from to play the 7. You don't really want to be playing it from the top down because it's close enough to the rail that you could push it to the rail too soon and just catch that knuckle again. Seen it 100 times. Just got to get this sweep down the rail and not catch that knuckle, and it's gone in fine. And that gives Eloquenti the lead, with the 7 ball being his extra money ball. 9 ball heading towards the pocket. It's a hanger, but the cue ball scratched, so it's going to be 5 each in about 10 seconds time. Ball in hand, 1-9 combo. This is how you like to come to the table with ball in hand. The 9 ball right over the pocket and a little dink up the rail to square the match. Well, 5 ball heads into the bottom left, and that 3 ball just gets right in front of the 1. So just to push out for Mooncake, and I think Mooncake might be getting this back. I would hand this back if I was Eloquenti. I'd be giving it back to Mooncake because it's awkward, and that's exactly what he's done. Because it's awkward to not only just hit the 1, but to get the cue ball out of there and get cover. And Eloquenti did the right thing because Mooncake's left the 1 on. Very often you'll play a push out and leave it awkward, and you end up getting it handed back to you, and it's up to you then to work out how to deal with the problem. And it was not easy. And Eloquenti's got an angle in this 3. Might be looking to get a dead weight drop yet behind that 4 on the short side. And that's nice. And that was hit far too heavy. But the 7 ball is the money ball. And Eloquenti now on the hill. But again, the cue balls ran loose and it scratched. And again, it's just like deja vu. It's ball in hand for Mooncake, although it's not going to be like a 1-9 combo, but you've got the 1 and the 2. He needs to get the angle in the 2 to go over for that 3 on the right side though, so you've got to be thinking about that. You want to just roll through as far as there, and that's perfect because you've now got the angle to just, even with a little bit of spin, just dink across for that 3 ball. And that's fine if it gets there. If it gets there, you've got to get there. Look at the gap you had to go in. You've got you needed a bit of spin in the cue ball to help it on its way. That's what was lacking there. You needed a bit more spin. But the recovery is good, although position in the 4 is not great. And not great from the point of view that you've got to get back up the table for that 5 ball. This is not easy by any means. But I'll tell you something, he's played a cracker of a shot there. That was excellent. First class. Now, having done that, he has to go all the way here. He can't be giving up the table from this position. Well, got to get the pace and get it running, and don't go behind the 9. That'll do. So this is just a simple drop in the 8 and just leave yourself straight up the table for that 9 into the corner. So we're going all the way in this match. And Mooncake's break is looking dry. Well, we'll find out how good Eloquenti is with the jump stick, or whether he's interested at all. Looks as if he's looking for other options here. Well, he's playing a push out, but this is not going to be any good. He's got to get cover. He can't leave an open shot in the 1. So now Mooncake has a choice. Put him back in which case we will find out how good Eloquenti is with a jump stick, but I think Mooncake's going to take it on. I would assume he's going to take it on. No, that was just my that was my own welcome back last week when the PC was working, and then of course the next day the PC wasn't working again. I might have jinxed myself last Friday. And the tournament was 4 players short of a full house tonight, only 12 in. Well, here's a gift for Mooncake to get going. First problem is getting on the 3. It's going to be awkward. I mean, it's back to. I mean, my week as far as VP4 is concerned, most of the week I'm far too tired to play because of the hours of work and how early I have to get to bed. That's the real story of it. When I get home, I'm knackered, and when it gets this time of night, I'm knackered, and I only really get my enjoyment in VP4 on the Wednesday and the Thursday, which are my days off, and I get my maybe a couple of game of cowboy doubles early in the morning. I've got to be up about 6 o'clock in the morning, which is not a problem because I'm already awake anyway half the time, and that's really the only table time I get. And then of course it's on the 10-footer, which I'm well used to. I'm a lot more used to the 10-footer now and the pace on it than I am on the 9, and that's no good from Mooncake. But he's certainly done the right thing there. Well, I'd be giving this one hell of a blast up and down. I don't know why he's not going up and down. Well, he must see something different here off 2-3 rails here. But it's not what I'd be doing. I'd be just slamming this up and down with the amp on and just hoping I get lucky. Well, that was some shot. And that's going to be game, set and match for Mooncake. I don't know why he didn't just go straight up and down, give it a good smack, and then hope for the best. Now, why is Mooncake not moving the cue? Well, he is moving the cue ball closer. So, Mooncake marches on. And Eloquenti. Hey, where's Eloquenti from? I don't think I've ever checked. I'm never going to find out either, am I? Well, he's one of these players that doesn't want you to know where he's from. He's got an Antarctica flag, and I'm pretty certain he's not at the South Pole. So we've got loads of results have come through. Popman has lost in the black ball, I see, against Sangetsu, who's a very solid black ball player. So now the winner's side is really taking up shape here. We've got Mooncake now playing Spectre Dawn, and we've got Stefan, who is 3-2 up against Sergaresh, but we're going to jump in to that Mooncake Spectre Dawn match, and we'll do that right now. And Mooncake on the right hand side with the lag, and Spectre Dawn get the legs. No, he hasn't. So Mooncake wins the lag, and Mooncake is getting a very generous 7 ball here against Spectre Dawn, but the cue ball's gone south immediately, so that's a disastrous start. Oh, you won. Did I read that wrong? That shows you how tired I am, Popman. Let's have a look. Oh, I can't be bothered. I take it all back, Popman. I apologise. I'm so tired I can't read results now. Oh, that's a good win against Sangetsu. He's a solid player at that game. I take it there was only the 2 U's in the final anyway. Tommy says Germany. Oh, is that where he's from? But he's got an Antarctica flag. Is that what you were saying, Tommy? Well, why the hell's he got an Antarctica flag? I insisted a long while back when VP4 was in development. I don't know whether Steve told us that we were going to have country flags in it, or I said to Steve, I want to have country flags in the game, and I don't want us just to have a UK flag. I want to have a Scotland flag in it. And I made sure that we got the St Andrews flag in VP4 because I didn't want to have a United, a Union Jack. Stuff that. Well, the mistake from Mooncake was winning the lag because he then broke off and immediately scratched. And what you don't want to be doing is giving Spectre Dawn a start. You've got to get off and running and get away from him as much as you can. Aye, that will be right. I like the yellow one, Hugh. What the hell are you talking about, Mark? I mean, I'm getting confused with some of this chat tonight. What yellow flag's that? Oh, you're talking about the line rampant one, aye. So, Spectre Dawn, the 2 ball and the 5 have gone. And he didn't get the cut right in the 1. So, well, tables like this and opportunities like this, when you're playing against players like Spectre Dawn, you've simply got to take them. You can't be making mistakes. And now this is perfect for a little. Now this is a shot where you play like a little draggy dink to cut that 3 down the rail and just bring the cue ball out into the table, just to try and kill the pace off the cue ball. Now, the only way this is going to go wrong is if he gets right onto this short rail. But he hasn't got the 4 to start with, so again, unforced errors you just simply cannot do, because this is a perfect angle to thin cut this 4 and come around the table and drop onto the 6. Well, last 2 is exactly what it means. If the 6 ball and the 9 ball were the last 2 balls in the table and you pot the 6, you win the rack. It's that simple. The 9 ball is always going to be the last ball in 9 ball. It's always going to be the last ball. It doesn't matter what any other ball is. If you're getting last 2, and let's say by some strange reason your opponent breaks off and he pots every ball in the break bar the 1 ball and the 9 ball, but he ends up hooked behind the 9. If he can't get you safe, all you have to do is see a shot in the 9 and pot it, you win the rack. Like the 1 and the 9 could be the last 2 balls on the table, strange as it might seem. It's probably very unlikely that's going to happen very often, but you know that's simply what last 2 is. So it gives you a good choice. But Mooncake has committed the cardinal sin there with ball in hand. He couldn't get the job done. And Coldest Pillow survives another round on the 1 loss side. He's taken out Christian and a final rack decider there. I was just talking about the nice weather earlier on there, Mark. We've had it's been good. It's been good down south for the most part in terms of reasonable enough temperatures and not a lot of rain going around. We've been dry for the last couple of weeks, and I'm just wondering why you're not out caravanning, or you're probably heading out for the weekend, because it's to be pretty good over the weekend as well. Probably into next week. No, Spectre Dawn doing the inevitable. He's now going to go 3 up, and Mooncake could end up getting severely punished here. Yeah, I think it was in probably 23, 24. And by the way, Mark, you know what I found out today? I was at work today and I had been, you know what I was watching on ITVX? the last couple of days. I went on to ITVX, and I was going to watch, I can't remember what I was going to watch, but I saw a big promo picture on screen for this Rolf Harris documentary that they had done. There was 2 episodes of it, so I watched both of them. And I went to work this morning. I was saying to one of the girls, I said, "Did you see that Rolf Harris documentary?" No, and she said no, she hadn't. I said, "You want to see some of this stupid stuff he was getting up to?" And she said, "Oh, he's dead now." That was me just finding out he died on the 10th of May. Well, that certainly didn't make any headlines, or I never saw the news at all that day because I never knew anything about it. What I couldn't believe is, in that documentary, he had actually made a video in Australia, and it was a video warning children about people getting too cozy and touching you and all of this thing, and he was warning kids to be careful. And then, of course, everything unfolds, 30 or 40 years later. Unbelievable. It certainly was kept out of the news because I never seen it. But I went on to, when I got home today, there's another scratch, this time by Spectre Dawn. 4-0 up though. Mooncake's got a lot of work to do, but when I got home today, I thought I'll go onto the BBC News website and type in his name to see if I can come up with anything. And I read the news report. His family announced it and said that he'd been buried, and that's all we're going to say. We're going to say no more about it. Respect their privacy and all of that. Well, I don't think anyone would be near them. Yeah, Tina Turner. I got home from work and I saw that on the I think I switched on the news and there was somebody on talking about it. I thought, oh, goodness me, they're dropping like flies. Well, she was, 83? And probably still looked 50. But that's the one thing money can't buy. It doesn't matter how much money you've got, it can't buy your mortality. That's the one thing it'll never do. Well, Mooncake could do with a bit of immortality in this match because unless he gets his act together here, he's going to get Jack in this match. And the other, did you see that documentary, Mark? Well, if you get a chance, go on to ITVX and watch it. One of the lassies, or one of the women that was on, she was actually disabled. And she was in no real fit state to defend herself. You see the way the woman's sitting, and she's clearly got issues. And he was one of his victims, or she was one of his victims. And then I saw a video on YouTube where Vanessa Phelps was talking on this morning. This was a while ago. This was when it all came out, and she was talking about when he was on, when she used to do the big breakfast, and she did the interviews on the bed. And he was on the programme that day, and he was touching her up while the interview was going on. The camera was obviously focused from, like, you would say, the waist up, but she said he had his hand up her skirt on the bloody bed. But she actually had got a warning from the makeup girls on that programme, and they said, watch that, Rolf Harris, he's got wandering hands. So she got a prior warning. But yeah, you've got to watch that documentary. And that all, I mean, that would never have came out. It would have, if Jimmy White, why do I call him Jimmy White? If Jimmy Savile was still alive, that nothing would have happened. You wouldn't have heard anything about it. Well, Sergeresh has taken out Stefan. So I think Sergeresh must be what? What's that? Is he in the hot seat match? Yes, he is. Sergeresh is first into the hot seat match. Yeah, we wouldn't have known anything about Stuart Hall. We wouldn't have known anything about all of the other ones that get done for it. Oh, I thought Coldest Pillow was saying that he just couldn't break. I just thought he was saying he was crap at breaking, but so there's a problem with the room. Yeah, both need to leave the room, but not quit. As soon as if you actually quit, you're then just forfeiting the match. So, or even if you have to Control Alt Delete and kill the process and restart VP4, that'd be a simpler way of doing it, and it gives you enough time to get back into the game. Well, the bank's on for Spectre Dawn. Talking about bank pool, here's a good bank in the 5. Is he thin cutting this into the side? He might be thin cutting it. Yeah, I think he is. And well, again, it's just gone awkward. And there's another result through. Tommy has beaten Eloquenti on that one loss side. So Tommy survives. And it's going to take a lot for Mooncake to survive on this winner's side now, I would think, because it's about to be 5-1 in favour of Spectre Dawn. Yeah, you'll get weird things happening sometimes in VP4. Sometimes it can be just caused by being out of sync. Well, Spectre Dawn would have to fall apart now, I would think, for Mooncake to get anything out of this match. Well, it's a delicate little 1-8 combo for Mooncake to start. The break was dry from Spectre Dawn, so a little dink. Well, he's trying to play the billiard. I think it'd have been easier but just playing the combo. And not only that, he's left the one down the rail. He's got to spin this cue ball over between the 7 and 5 here, I think. And he's missed the 5, and that's perfect, because he's got himself a little angle as well. And again, it had to be a better effort by Mooncake there. I think he'd have been far better off playing the combo than trying to play the billiard. So the tournament's been on for 90 minutes, and we've already got a player in the hot seat match. So Sergeresh I don't think it's going to have all that long to wait. Well, the angle on the 5 is too much to try and hold the cue ball, so I would just run this around in behind the 6 into the top right hand corner. See, Spectrodon just trying to do things fancy, when all he had to do was pot the 5 ball, let the cue ball run around behind the 6, off the long rail on the right and out into the table, and he was trying to do it the fancy way, and it could cost him the rack. It could easily just be one way of letting Mooncake get back into this, because Mooncake's getting the 7 ball, and if Mooncake's break starts working, this match could turn. All from that one shot. He needs to get balls in the break though, and it ain't happening. And he also needs to get cover. And, well, he's got cover with the 4, but loads of room for Spectrodon to jump over this. The only danger with the jump shot is that, depending on the pace he gets into this, as to whether the cue ball will hold without coming across here and blocking off the 2. Because see, the angle he's got, the cue ball's going to have to come this way. See, he's overcut the 1, but he ended up, he'd have been hooked in the 2 anyway. The 2 get nudged up the table there. He wouldn't have had a shot in the 2. That, he can't get to the cut angle in the 1, but it's a little dink, and he has to get cover behind the 9 if that's what he's doing. I don't know what he's doing looking at this angle. And that's, well, it's not really that good, because I think Spectrodon will jump this again. Just got to watch that the ball doesn't jump off the table. It's the only danger. And once again though, Spectrodon didn't get a roll there, so Mooncake might get another little go here. Well, a good attempt at the kick in the 2. Now, whatever happens here, Mooncake has got to decide what he's trying to do here. If he's cutting the 2 and coming back across to the 3, he could have a 3 up the top left hand corner, but if he doesn't get good, he's got to nail Spectrodon behind that 6 and 7. So, that's, I don't know what the hell that was, because he didn't need to hit that hard. He only needed to make sure he potted the 2 and come back across towards the 3. And in the end, he overhit it by a mile. And not only that, the other cardinal sin again is not actually potting the 2. And these are opportunities that Mooncake's thrown away here. And he's nobody to blame but himself. If you're getting chances and you're just throwing them back in your opponent's face, then you're not going to get any result in this. Spectrodon could have finished better in the 3. He's going to be running into the 6, hoping he comes out nice in the 4, and that's not bad. Now this is testy, because again the angle you have in the 6, the cue ball wants to run over towards the 5. Now is he trying to dink into the 5 and 6, or dink over, because the 5 doesn't go? It won't go into the side. Now you see he's run into them, and well, now he's got a decision to make. The 5's tight to bank past the 8, but it will go. He could just try and billiard the 6 in, or just do that. Is that a result I missed there? Did I call that result? Anyway, Coldest Pillow has beaten Scooby by 4 racks to 2. So all's going well at the moment for Coldest Pillow in that one-loss side. And meanwhile, Mooncake's got ball in hand, but not a lot to go for. See, I would just be coming back off that 6 ball, off the let's have a look. You're trying to billiard that in. Yeah, there wasn't enough room. I'd have been coming off the 5 and trying to go up the table and back down towards the 8. Oh, cue ball, and again Mooncake gets handed a lifeline, and he only needs a 6 and 7, and it's the charity of Spectre Dawn that's given Mooncake these little lifelines, and sooner or later this match could turn. But I don't think Mooncake's I don't know. At the moment he's not making the most of it. Let's just say that. He could have another 2 racks on the board here right now if he'd done the business. Now there's another result. Tommy has beaten John Boo 4 racks to 1. So the one-loss side's catching up. And Mooncake now has a table that has got to be ran out. Bear in mind he only needs to get to that 7, and the 7's wide open in the middle of the table. Now, anywhere on this left-hand side, all you're doing is stunning the 6 in, maybe a little bit of spin to come left. Well, he's gone forward and around, but as long as you get on the mark, that'll do. Now, how do you play this shot? Well, I'm playing this and coming around behind the 7, and you see, he's done that, but he's taken his eye off the pot, and that's the 3rd time that Mooncake's in the rack within his grasp, and he's blown it and thrown it away. And it could be 6-5 up at the moment. And that's just probably one too many. Because you're thinking, Spectre Dawn can get this and get on the 7. This rack's done and dusted. And it well and truly is now. And Mooncake's got to be kicking himself here. So Spectre Dawn needs one more. He'll have the break. Well, I think that might have been the 4 ball that went in top left. He's got the cut in the 1. The 8 ball has gone adjacent to the 6. I don't think it... Well, it's a slight problem from the point of view that the 7 ball's on the wrong side. The 7 ball's where you want the cue ball to be to pot that 6 once you get rid of the 5. I think that could be the lifeline here for Mooncake. This is where you would want to be playing to go on the 6, because you're not getting on it anywhere there to cut it into the corner. So Spectre Dawn obviously will be well aware of that, because he's the one that needs all these balls. So he's going to have to deal with that 6 ball situation. And this rack the outcome of this rack and the outcome of the match could very well be decided here in the next minute or so. Well, now we're going to find out. Well, that 6 ball is very tight past the 7 into the side. He's trying to get on the short side of it, and that's excellent, because now he He just can roll the 7 into the 6 in, but where's he potting this 7? Because again, he could try and use the 8 ball to brush off it. Let's see if he does that. No, he's coming back. Bump to 7 into play, and everything's good. Game, set, match, folks. Well, the story of this for Mooncake is it's coulda, woulda, shoulda. That's exactly how it is. He's frittered chances away that he's had. He could have taken Spectre Dawn out there, and he made far too many errors at the important parts when he had the rack within his grasp, and the unforced error came in, and the outcome was inevitable. So Spectre Dawn is through to play Sergaresh in the hot seat match, and we have confirmation of that there. Meanwhile, on the one loss side, we've got Tommy lining up with Stefan. It's just about to start. We've also got Coldest Pillow just about to start with Mooncake. So we're going to jump into this Tommy Stefan match. If we can get in, they're probably lagging off. No, they aren't. They're right in the middle of the first rack. And Stefan is getting the 7 ball. Of course, now it's blink an eye and you've missed the match. It's only a race to 4, and that 7 ball that Stefan is getting is handy, but it won't do him any good as long as Tommy keeps spotting balls. So this looks like a good start for Tommy because he won the lag, so it may well be a break run out. We don't know that, but there's a strong possibility it is. Let's see if the 1 ball will go into the side. Nope, it's caught the knuckle. I'll just caught the rail. But something else went in, no, I think. 4 balls gone. Now, you could play a billiard off the... Oh no, you can't, because I thought that was the 1. The 1's right there. I was thinking that was the 1 next to the 2. It's a 9 ball. Well, that's not a bad result either. That's got Stefan in trouble. And he thought he could get through and hit that 1, but went clean past it. So, straight away, early in this second rack, Tommy's got ball in hand. No, you get in the room. Get into the room and sit there. Is he not coming into the room to forfeit? Is he not joining the room? If he's not joining the room, then you get yourself in and just sit there until it times out. It will time out in 5 minutes. So Tommy had to just get out far enough on that. Now he could play this with a bit of right English to cut it in and just come up the right side of the 9 ball, or he could spin in the gap. He's got to get high enough though. He's fine, just a little dinky cut. Again, you can put a wee bit of check on it just to stop the cue ball running towards that side pocket. So 2-0 to Tommy. Well, I think I've only seen Stefan attempt one shot, and he went clean through and never hit the one ball. But he's getting a chance here, and this might be the toughest shot in the whole rack here, getting the one ball in, because he's bound to have a shot in the two. Now this is a wee bit fiddly. It's a touchy shot if you're trying to hold for the three on the right hand side. He's got to get there, you see. He hasn't hit it. He's not hit it. Well, I mean, in terms of the average in the lobby, on a good night it's 50 odd. But that was a great little combo by Stefan. That 3-9 combo, that was well played. And I heard another ball go down, and he's on the one. And he can come back. He doesn't want to come back too far because he could end up rolling behind the 7 here. Well, that's not great, I'm afraid. That is not anywhere near good where you'd want to be in this 2 ball. Now, I think Stefan could have come up with something better than that. I think he should have drawn that cue ball back. You're always taking the risk doing it. He ends up having to try and dig out a crazy 2 ball, and now he's scratched, and suddenly it's all gone wrong. But it went wrong because he played the wrong shot there for a start. There's no way I'd have been playing that. I would have been drawn back off the 1 to play that 2 in the side. Well, we've all been surprised like that for years. But as I've said, I think the main problem that Virtual Pool 4 has is that it doesn't give the punter what they want, and Shooter's Pool does. There are players who are beginners at virtual billiard games. There are players who play at a low level, and they want to play players of a similar level, and they also want the assists to help them. They want to put tracking lines on and that sort of stuff, and Shooter's Pool gives you all of that online. It also gives you the opportunity to create your own tournaments if you wish. It's got a much better, what do you call it? The actual prices of the products that you can buy are far better and cheaper in Shooter's Pool. Shooter's Pool's got a lot of good things that VP4 doesn't have, and that's why there's a lot more people there. You can buy whatever tables you want, and the table quality is much better looking than VP4. The snooker tables are much better looking than in VP4. And you can buy whatever ball sets you want, whatever cues you want. You'll get cues with black shafts that I like, that we've never had in VP4. So, yeah, you've got to be in the room to time out, yeah. So there's loads of stuff that is good about Shooter's Pool. And the main gripe I've got against it is the view restriction. That's the main gripe. So as long as they keep that there, the only thing I ever do is pop in every couple of weeks and have a quick look and see what's going on in it. Well, he doesn't want to see that. This is why. This is because VP4 is so hardcore. There's been loads of players that have came to VP4 over the years. They've came online and they're finding it too difficult because they don't get I mean, there's quite a lot of players who came here and never had offline anyway. They only ever have tried the online. They're not prepared to buy the offline. And again, when they come online, they don't have any aids to help them online. And, you know, if they're chopping and changing and they've tried the free version of Shooter's Pool, they're always going to go back to that because they can get what they want in there. That's it in black and white. If you want to play with your mates online, and the other thing it's got is you can have multiplayers in the room playing. So you can't just have two aside. If you want to, you can have a three-a-side match or a four-a-side, something like that. It gives you that option. So you could play quartets, I think. I've never seen it happen, but I think you can. So there is a lot more choices available to you. It's a lot easier in the pocket in terms of buying products. The prices are far, far more reasonable they are than VP4. I mean, paying £30 for a queue in real money is ridiculous. You've got a standard amount of rooms that you get when you go online, and then there's other rooms that you can buy, like the tournament room and stuff like that, or the arena. There's another one called the arena. So here we go with a 4-9 combo for the match for Tommy, which you should never be missing. And lo and behold, commentator's done it again. And this is going to be a little dinky billiard onto the 9, just a little hit that 4-ball thick enough because you get enough room to do it, and just dink onto the 9. Any little brush in the 9 and it's going in. He shouldn't be trying to cut the 4 onto the 9 because you can't get there to do it. So it's just a little drop-in billiard. Would you believe it? He's maybe fluked to 4. Yes, he has. And Stefan lives again. What a jam he is. And there he's committed the cardinal sin. He's tried to draw into the 9 and followed it in. Yes, they have seasons in Shooter's Pool, and they've also got their own World Championships that they do. They don't do them in the same quantity that we do, because we've now always got one pretty much running all the time, no matter what one it is. But they've got. I mean, and the one thing I would say though is that I'm not there often enough to see how active these things are. I mean, if you look at Virtual Pool 4, we've had a second attempt at a league season and nobody was interested. We had the inaugural one with 9-ball. That went okay, and we've had nothing else since because people didn't like the game. Well, can Tommy get the job done now? He's got a good angle in the 8. So this for the match. Oh, what did you win, Tommy? I didn't know you. Oh, goodness me. Well, Tommy, you want to get yourself out of the stream, my friend, and focus on pot and balls because you're making a complete ass of this. And he's going to come out. Oh, this 9-ball might go to the rail. Oh, this is awkward. This is awkward because if you try cutting that down the rail, the scratch is on the other side. The scratch is on. Well, that was the only thing that was good about that. It didn't scratch, but this time, surely Stefan's got to get this in the hole to take this all the way. Well, loads of top in the cue ball, but no joy in potting the ball, and the 1 ball's on now. Tommy should be running this out here. This table is perfect for running out. And I'll say this now that Tommy's listening in the stream. If he can't run this out, he's an umpty. I mean, even I can do this. The only problem is getting from the 5 to the 6. There's loads of room, so he needs that angle in the 5. He must have the angle in the 5, and he must avoid running into the 7. This is where you have to be careful. Right, so he can come out the left-hand side of the 7 ball and be well clear of it. He needs to go forward, and he should avoid the 7. No, he's caught it. I think it maybe needed a wee bit of left on it. And now this 6 ball's dead in the rail. And, well, good luck. Yeah, well, I did say it'd be an umpty if he couldn't get the job done. But the problem was getting from the 5 to the 6. And you had to maybe just tweak that with a little bit of left to try and punch it away from the 7. And of course, Stefan only needs to roll the 7 in, and it's hasta la vista. Well, don't say he didn't have his chances. And in the end, it's Stefan that falls over the line by 4 racks to 3. And that's what you get for coming into the stream. Well, Stefan's now up against Coldest Pillow. So while they're about to play, let's catch the remainder of this hot seat match. Well, I think you're jinxing yourself, Tommy, coming into the stream, especially if you're listening to what I'm saying. Well, if you were listening to what I was saying, you'd have put a bit of left English on that cue ball to avoid the 7. Well, Spectre Dawn is trying to get back on par here because, as Coldest Pillow says, Serganesh is getting the 6 ball, and that's again very generous, but the 6 ball is tied up, and Spectre Dawn might take a crazy risk here and try and bump them into play and still have a shot in the 5. I think he's got to. I think he's got to get a bump here and just hope he still has a shot in the 5. And he does, because he had the perfect angle to get into them there. And he's also got a nice angle to stun out for this 6 or go forward or do whatever he wants. And it needs to keep rolling, and that will do it. So again, just a little dink in and drop in behind that 7. And we're going to be all square in about 45 seconds time. Right, see you later, Tommy. Good luck in your match with LS3. I'll be there. I'll have another drink. Now is Spectre Dawn going to push on from here now that he's got back all square? Well, a ball has gone into the right, a second one's gone into the right side. He's not got a great shot in the one though. I think he's got to overcut this one so that it goes between, off the long rail on the left, in between the 8 and the 4, and then come right down the right hand side and get big distance on this. Is he going for the bank? See, I wouldn't be playing anything there. Let me just see if I can get this to work. I would be going to cut the one that way if I can get my lines to work, that is, and I'd be going that way, and down here. You send the one into the rail and into there. He's went all out for the pot, and that could cost him. He had a very good safety opportunity on there, and he wasn't interested. But that's the shot I would have played. Now it needs to bump the 9. Oh, has it held it enough? Yes, it has. Well, this is wide open. Sergresh is looking around, but the problem is that the 4 ball is going to be the issue. Now, if you were right here on that 4 ball, you're playing it in off the jaw every day of the week. It goes in, but there is no way that's going to go in comfortably if you finish there. I mean, this is a horrible shot. He could try the billiard off that. He's actually banking it. And that's sweet. And it goes. And look at the cue ball. Perfect. Couldn't have played that any better. Just what the doctor ordered. Well, Spectre Dawn, bearing in mind that Sergresh only needs the 6 ball, he's paying the price for taking on a difficult shot that he really shouldn't have been. You know, you've got to know when to wind it in, and I think that was the time to wind it in and play the decent safety. It was an easy enough safety, and it cost him the rack. And cue ball has scratched from Sergresh, and this could immediately turn right back into Spectre Dawn's hands here, because ball in hand, all the balls are on, and he's going to be back all square in about 2 minutes' time. So the tournament's now been on for 2 hours and 4 minutes. Well, I think with this shot you roll through to the rail, get back into the table, because the angle that you have on it, you want to just go forward and come back up into a central position. Now, can he avoid bumping the 8 here? That's the only tricky thing with this shot. He might go forward and come around. See, the safest shot would be to go forward and come around to take the 8 ball out of the equation, and that way you've got a straight in 4. Well, he's managed to avoid it. There's plenty of room at the end of the day to avoid that 8 ball. So it could be just back into the table, leave the long 7. Again, you've just got to get control of the cue ball, and that's fine. So 4 apiece it will be. Well, Larry must have decided he's taking a break from Friday night 9 balls, because that's certainly 2 weeks in a row he's not been here. The excuse he would have had last week is that there wasn't any spots available for him, because I think it ended up full last week, and no sign of him this week. Meanwhile, Spectre Dawn's break is dry. I don't think that Sergresh has got much on here. not really, he can only see half of the one ball. He could have a wild try at the cutback bank on the one. That I think is on. I mean, it's not easy, but I think it is on. Probably better having a go at that than he would be trying to put it safe somewhere, I think. Well, he's got to come up with cover. No, he hasn't, but then again, the one ball's not going anywhere. Blocked by the 7 and 8 up table. And Spectrodon's going to have to try and find some sort of safety here. And that's just the easiest option. But he's going to be in trouble in a second because Sergresh is just going to dink off the 1 and try and use that 7 and 8, but I don't think he's got it. Certainly can get to the 1. I might be hoping to get a little. Now, there's not enough room to get behind the 8. And he's going to go up and down, try and kick it past the 8. Well, a good attempt, but it just caught a bit too much of the 8 ball there. So, from Sergresh's point of view, he doesn't need to worry about the 7 and 8. All he needs to concern himself about is getting good in the 2 and onto that 3. Because the 4 will take care of itself. It's then how he ends up getting in the 5 as to whether he'll have a simple enough 6 for the rack. So this is a simple part. The more difficult part is getting good in the 5. And this is why you should always be thinking ahead. You know, it's okay that the 4 ball's over the pocket. He's ended up pretty straight in the 4. So he's not got a lot of options. He can try and tweak it and spin the cue ball to come up that top side that I'm looking at up there and play a long 5 ball. Or he's going to draw back. But if he draws back and gets that too much, he's going to end in no man's land like that. That's no good. And again, it just came about from being too straight in the 4. That's how easy it is to get yourself out of shape. Right, Mark, you'll see you. Oh, is that you away in the caravan then? I was asking you that earlier. I presume that's where you're headed. So good night. Thanks for watching. Now, did Sergresh play that there? We'll give him the benefit of the doubt. But it wins him the rack anyway. So Sergresh into the lead, and the break gives him nothing. Well, he could try using it. I mean, he could cut that one past the 5. And he's gone for it. Full-blooded. Is the cue ball staying in the table? Yes, it is. Well, again, this is not a difficult combo. You're straight on the 2 just to catch the edge of that 3. That's too thick. Oh no, he hasn't. I thought he was too thick there. I thought he was going to just catch the point, but he's got away with it. Now, how does he deal with the 4? Is it going to be a 4-6 combo? So I think to get that you've got to cut the 2 and come back across the table. I think to try and get as good as you can on that 4-6. Well, it's gone too far. Well, this is certainly not easy. He's trying to just bump the 4. He hasn't got a snooker, but he's left nothing on. And this again's tricky because You can only see partial amount of the 4, so he's going to try and kick it in instead, I think. Well, the cue ball's gone, so here's a simple 4-9 combo to get Sergresh on the hill. And there we are. That's what happens when mistakes happen at the wrong time. An easy 4-9 combo with ball in hand. So now, I thought he was on the hill. It's 5 apiece. I read that wrong. My eyes have gone. I thought Sergresh was going up 6-5 there, but it's only 5 apiece. It is 10 past 9, and it's already 40 minutes past my bedtime. Well, there's trouble ahead at both ends of the table here for Spectre Todd if he's going to try and do something with this rack. This is going to be some ask. I mean, the 3 ball goes, but that isn't the issue. You pot the 3 ball, how do you get anything out of the 4 because it's nailed to the 9? Well, it isn't, because now that I'm up the table, we can see the 4 clearly goes. So there isn't a problem, it's just getting the cue ball up that top right hand side. Now, that's a cracking shot. So here's the big shot. And he's got a fairly straight in 3, so it's just going to be a straight draw. And the line looks good. And that is like a stun draw, and that's perfect if it doesn't go dead straight. Well, it has done. And now there's a problem. He might end up just going through and leaving the bank up and down on this 5 ball. I don't think he's going to be trying anything crazy. I think he's got to maybe just try and get a shot in the 5 to bank it. Oh, he's played the combo. Well, that's a flashy little shot. I never even gave that a thought. Or was it a little billiard? I was too busy looking at the 5 ball up and down the table. I never even contemplated that shot. That was well done. So, Spectre Dawn is on the hill again. Oh, the 2 ball just went in, I think, and the 1 ball's gone. But the 3 ball is going nowhere fast. And straight away, this is tricky because you can't really just dink off the 3 and get cover unless you're trying to go over behind the 8. As you're looking at the 7 to try and, I don't think there's enough room even to try that. No, there's not enough room. I was thinking about bumping the 3 into the 7 and the 3 going into the side, but there's no room to do that. Well, let's see what the what Spectre Dawn's trying to work out here. Well, he's looking to find a place to push. Now, that 3 ball certainly doesn't look like it banks because you can't get the cue ball out of the way. But it also, I don't think, is good for a billiard onto the 7. I think the 3's too close to the rail to try the billiard. I think you'd only end up bumping the 7 up the rail. Oh, well, he tried to cut it in off that 7, and I mean, look at that. How unlucky is that? I mean, another half an inch and it was in. So this is the chance for Spectre Dawn to get to the final again. Well, this cut in the 4, I don't know whether he's got to go up and down the table, but he's got to miss the hit in the 6. He's got to get up the table, back down, and down here far enough so he can see the 5, I think, from this. See, there's the problem. He was tracking towards the 6. The commentator's eye called it, and he's now hooked, I think, or he can barely see an edge of that 5 ball. In fact, he can't see anything of it. And Sergeresh better get ready here because he might have a chance. He might have a chance to take this all the way. Oh well, that'll do it, because that gets rid of Sergeresh's money ball. But look at where the cue ball's gone. Well, this would be a cracking kick bank combo on the 9 with a 5 ball. And in the end, he never got the 5 ball. So, well, the only good news here for Spectre Dawn is that Sergeresh has to run the table because that 6 ball has gone. So, and the 9 ball is in a slightly awkward spot. And again, it has to be good on this 8 to make it simple to get onto that rail for that 9 ball. Let's have a look. Well, it couldn't be any simpler than this because you're just drawing back off that into the rail. And that's good enough. So anything but catch the point. There's loads of room past the middle pocket. You shouldn't be anywhere near it. So here we go. Sergeresh breaking off. And Stefan has taken out Coldest Pillow by 4 racks to 2, so Stefan survives. I think, let's have a look. Well, you know what I always say every Friday night 9 ball. Let's have a look. Aye. Friday night 9 ball this week. Coldest Pillow has come out 25 $25 in front. He's got back his entry fee plus 25 $, so you've come out with more $, than what you had when you went in, and that's what matters. So it's a good enough run in this week's tournament. And meanwhile, Sergeresh for the match. So Spectre Dawn is heading to that 1 loss side. Sergeresh with that 6 ball is very dangerous, of course, and it got him through by that final rack decider. So well done to Sergeresh, and he's going to have a little wait now because we're going to have to resolve things over here. Well, the semi-final just about to take place because Spectre Dawn is about to join Stefan, and they're going to be battling it out in a race to 4 to see who gets to play Sergeresh in the final. It's either going to be a revenge match for Spectre Dawn or Stefan is going to be dangerous with the handicap he's getting. So the room is up. No, it isn't. That's the wrong one. That's the one. We'll get ourselves in, and we're waiting on both players arriving. So the interesting thing is Spectre Dawn having to do things the hard way and facing now a dangerous race to 4 here against Stefan, who, if he keeps his head on his shoulders, is well capable of causing damage to Spectre Dawn with the handicap he's getting. I don't know what it said in the bracket. It said something, but what's he getting? Oh, he's getting the 6 ball as well. That's lethal. There's that bug with the numbers on Stefan there. That'll correct itself. So Spectre Dawn is in. Stefan presumably still there. Presumably he's not fallen asleep or gone home for the night. Let's have a quick look at the list of players in the lobby to make sure that Stefan is still in the building. Oh yes, he's in away mode, so Stefan will be already getting that audible alert to let him know the room is up. So 2-0. Yeah, I was blowing my nose. Seven ball looked as if it was going to track in, but I think it's dry. And nothing easy here for Stefan. I think he's got to try and duck for cover here. No, I mean, you know, Spectre Dawn, I mean, there's loads of tables that Spectre Dawn comes to. I've seen it often enough in Friday Night 9-ball. There are tables where there are see, this is the thing though. I mean, if you're coming to a table and there's a problem on the table, then that's the first thing you should be prioritising and how you're going to deal with it. And it's more than obvious that Spectre Dawn is on the ball as far as that goes, and most of the time he can find a way to deal with it, or he'll get that angle so he can get the breakout. Okay, sometimes you've got to rely on a little lucky roll of the ball to still have a shot, but that's by the by. I mean, certainly those two tables were not gimmies. There was problems. Dealt with them all, and Stefan has no problem here to deal with this 4, 5 and 6 because there's a clean run at them all, and the 5 ball is just a stun in and off the rail and back up the table anywhere to see the 6 like that. But it's still a very dodgy situation to be given a 6 ball when it's only raced to 4, and even though you've got a 2-0 lead, or you did have, but Stefan needs a ball to go in, and there's nothing doing. Now, there is a 1 bank up and down and get it to the rail, and it's a big pocket with a 5 ball. In fact, tell a lie, again for the second time tonight I've mistook the 9 ball as a 1 ball when the 1 ball was down this end of the table. The eyes have gone for the night, folks. Well, the 2 ball, I think he's got to dig right in to get back out into the table and see enough of the 3 to cut it, which he has done. And this is just a gentle dink to get high enough to make the cut in the 4. That's all he's doing here. Just a little touchy shot. Well, obviously he knew he was going to be colliding with the 7 and he hit it hard enough to come clean. But has he got enough of the 4? He's having to twist this cue ball here, and he's got it. So another little tricky situation there dealt with, and all the balls are on, and it's going to be 3-1. Well, it's 2.5 hours into the tournament with 12 players in it tonight. I might be getting a slightly earlier night. And just a roll in the 8. You could play the little stopper though, but whatever's comfortable. Well, is Stefan going to get another shot? That's the question. Oh, good enough break. Nothing doing though. 2 balls trying to get there. But Stefan, just when he needs it, is getting no joy at all. Nothing left for him, and looking to play the push somewhere. Well, that one, I think, will cut. It does go, and he'll be running into the 4. Yeah, he's going all out for it. And again, Spectre Don's come up smelling the roses. He's got away with that big time. Well, give it a blast. That's what I'd be doing. Now, that's not a blast. I'd be giving that a complete hammer with the amp on. And immediately, I'm thinking the match is now over. That's Stefan's last shot. Left hand to English on the cue ball there so that it checked on the rail and came parallel rather than running down below, because he'd have been hooked behind the 4 if he'd let it run normal. So this is a tricky one. Just making sure that he doesn't get into the cue ball too much that he's going to scratch the side and just go to the rail and come out. So he just played it plain ball just to run it out. Dead weight drop in the 4. Yep, this is bedtime for Stefan, I'm afraid. I don't think he'll be that disappointed. He's had a decent enough run. Again, come out with more money than he went in. So it's been a profitable evening for Stefan as well. So, just the 3 balls remaining, so he doesn't want to leave himself straight in the 8. So a little bump on the 7. Get the cue ball out. And now he's got enough angle where he can go forward and spin it around and out. He can bump into the rail and come back the way, but he wants to get out far enough, so forward and out is the easiest way, and leave a straight in 9. So Spectre Don is going to get his chance for revenge. Sergeresh awaits him in the final, and it's a 4-1 win. Well done to Stefan for getting this far, but good night to Stefan. So it is 9:35, 2 hours 35 minutes into the tournament. We have a final race to 9, and it's Sergeresh against Spectre Don. And Spectre Don doesn't usually rush into the room, and as I thought, Sergeresh is first in. He's keen to get going. Where's Sergeresh from again? Did I say Belarus or something? Yes, he is. So I'm not sure what time zone Sergeresh is in. He may well still be an hour in front of me. He could be a couple of hours in front. I'm not 100% sure what time zone Belarus is in. But anyway, it's safe to say it's fairly late at night. I'll get another quick drink. In fact, I know what we'll do, and he'll probably arrive in the room now that I'm going to do this. This is what I'll do. Quick reminder, if we go to the virtual World Bank Pool Championships, we've got LS3 and Tommy on Sunday night at 7 PM. I'll be there for that one. And next Tuesday at 5 PM, we have a one-loss side match. They're both one-loss side matches, but that one's appeared. Bankster against Acero. I don't know whether Slim will want to do that because that's early in the afternoon his time and he may be working, and if not, I'll do it because I'll be home and finished work by that time, and then I've got my days off after it. So that is in the Bank Pool World Championships. And then in the snooker one, the matches that are on the... sorry, that's the wrong bloody one again, hang on. The matches that are on the schedule for this one, we have Mal 255 against MC Clarkey. That is on Saturday night at 9 PM, too late for me. And that's one that's appeared sometime today, I think. Albinario and Semi-Pro are arranged for Sunday at 8 PM. Again, that's starting too late for me. And Barker's is playing his Eric at 2:30 in the afternoon on Monday. And Slim's going to be doing that one as well because I won't be home from working time. And when I do get home, I'm having something to eat and probably a nap. So I won't be there to cover that, but I will probably join the stream to see how things are going. So anyway, here we go. Race to 9, and Sergresh, of course, again is getting that 6 ball. Sergresh on the right hand side. And that's a good lag from Sergresh. That's going to be hard to beat. And he's going to win the lag, I think. It's tight, but yeah, he's won it. Now, what Sergresh needs is a ball and a shot and a run out to the 6 for a good start. Well, he's got the 7 ball, the 2 ball as well. And he's no shot in the 1. But I'll tell you what he does have. As long as he doesn't scratch in the top right hand corner pocket, he should have good cover here. Well, there's enough room to jump over the 9 and 6, but there's enough room also to get the line off that long rail and just drop onto the 1. Well, he'll probably take that because the 1 doesn't go. I mean, you can try and cut the 1 onto the 5. You'd need to try and get the cue ball out of the way if you're trying to bank the 1 into this corner pocket. Yeah, it's just caught the edge of the 5. Spectre Dawn can cut the 1 and bank it in. Cue ball's running up the table and he may well have a sight of the 3 ball. Whether he can do a lot with it, I don't know, but we're about to find out because that's probably what he's going to do. Oh, that'll do. That's a lovely little kiss. That couldn't have worked out any better than that. And he's got the angle just to spin out and around for the 4. Well, the bank was left on by Sergresh and it's immediately going to cost him the rack. Oh, I'm going downhill fast. Desperate to get to bed. And I'm just thinking that if this was a full house, we could have went to 11 o'clock tonight. Another hour and 20 minutes of it. It's not going to be anywhere near as late as that. Thank goodness. So, 2-3 rails onto the 8 ball. Oh, he's went all out for the crazy cut. Now it's backfired on him because he's hooked in the 8. He should have. Well, to me, maybe the angle was tight into the side, but the obvious one was to cut the 6 into the side and run the 3 rails onto the 8. But maybe the angle was not good. I didn't get up enough. I didn't get up out my chair to have a look. I'm guessing that was maybe the reason he played the cut. Now he needs a bit of luck here, and he might get a lot of luck. Look at this. Look at this. Oh, Sergaresh will be gutted with that one. That's a bonus and a half there for Spectre Dawn. Well, he's got to draw off this 9 to avoid scratching. Well, he didn't. Obviously, again, it looked as if the scratch was on. Lying back in my chair here. Well, Spectre Dawn got himself out of jail there with a kick and a lucky roll of the ball. He's also got a ball in the break, which is a 2 ball. Well, it doesn't look difficult to put Sergaresh in trouble here, but I think Spectre Dawn is all out for the cut. Yep. Oh, he just landed right on top of the 3. Well, this is no good. Well, if you put a bit of bottom in the cue ball, you can play the double kiss off that 3 ball and get back up the table. Now, Sergaresh is looking around, but that's a shot if you want to try and get distance between the 2 of them. Well, he's decided it's much easier to kick it in, that'll do it. But now, he's nowhere near good on this 4 ball. 4 ball will cut. That's tough from that distance. Oh well. He'll take that though. Because Spectre Dawn is going to have to go. He's going to have to work a miracle shot here to find any sort of line to get anywhere near that 4. He'd be far better off trying to tie a ball up here. And that's not easy to do either. Yeah, he hasn't done it, but that was probably his only option because he simply couldn't get to that 4 ball. So, this is a tricky one for Sergaresh, and this is Spectre Dawn's lifeline in this rack. It's a thin cut in the 5. He's not going to be anywhere near good in the 6 by the look of it. And the best he's going to get out of it would be a bank. And that's no good for the bank, so he's got to play probably either the little billiard onto the 8. The billiard onto the 8 looks the best bet, because that way the 6 ball should still be in play. And that's well done. Or the little billiard onto the 8 ball. Did I say that wrong there? I'm not listening to what I'm saying. My brain's half cut here. But anyway, it's 1 apiece. Now, how's his luck this time? He's got the first part of it, a ball in the break. But once again, absolutely nothing doing. Now, if Spectre Dawn can see that 1 ball full in the face, which he can't, I don't think, he's just going to try and come around behind the 3 and 4 here. Well, maybe he intended to play behind the 9 and he's got it. There is not much of that 1 ball showing. In fact, absolutely nothing whatsoever, really. Now again, this is a a table that is by no means easy here for Spectre Dawn. I mean, the 3 ball you can get to from the short side. It will go past the 9. And then you've got the problem of the 6 ball, which is stuck in between the 7 and 8 there. It's going nowhere fast. So there's got to be a nudge somewhere along the line. Now you could try it now and hope he gets lucky and still have a shot in the 2, and that's worked out perfect as far as that part of the visit goes. He's still got the problem of getting onto that 3 ball. Now looking at where he is in the 2, he's a bit too straight in the 2, I think. Whatever he does, he's going to have to punch this around, try and get... I don't know whether he can avoid the 9, that's the other problem. Well, he has avoided the 9, and he has played it perfect. That was excellent. And when you deal with that issue, the rest is easy. Or at least it should be. Yeah, I would, you know, I would normally have a coffee. I always have a cup of coffee late on. It doesn't keep me awake though, surprisingly, because the state my brain is in at this time of night, well past my bedtime, coffee won't even keep me awake. You know, 10 minutes after hitting the pillow, I'm out like a light. And the only annoying thing is the fact that as soon as my head hits the pillow, and it's you know, after 10 o'clock at night, or in a lot of cases it's after 11 o'clock at night on a Friday, I've only got less than 5 hours before I'm back out my bed and going to work again. That's the tough part about it. And that's why I don't like Friday night starting at 8 o'clock when the clocks change, because there's no way that I'm staying up to midnight. So Spectre Dawn has a slender lead. He's also had a ball in the break. 4 ball is gone, and he's also on the 1, and now it's a chance for him to stretch the lead immediately here, because he's got a table again with absolutely no issues. The issues will be self-inflicted by getting out of shape or doing something crazy and scratching, but he really shouldn't be, because the cue ball should be well under control with this setup. Spectre Dawn building up the lead now. It's early on and it can still change very quickly, but Segres is only going to be ever able to do that if he's in control of the table at any time. And Spectre Dawn trying to get himself on a roll here. He's in another ball or balls in a break. The 7 ball's gone. Now, can he see any of that 1 ball? I don't know whether he can. Well, yes, he can. He can cut that 1. That 1 will go. I mean, it's going in every day of the week. And even if he comes up and bumps into the 9, he's got a cut in the 2. Yeah, that one goes, there's not a problem. Now he could do with bumping something now. That'll do it. This is not easy either. The angle he's got in the two is a bit more than he would probably need to try and get this cue ball around and out or back and out. He's got to avoid the traffic, and now he's gone a bit square here. He's in no man's land. Well, I mean, if he's looking at this into the side pocket, he's got to avoid the 5 ball for a start, which he did do, but having to play it at that pace, he was never ever going to be good on the 4. So Sergresh has a tough 3 ball. Oh, he's played it well. And now he's got a good angle to get up the table. But doesn't want to collide with anything here on the way up. He wants to steer well clear. Well, the fact that he's missed the 4 and it's ended up in the short rail in the bottom, Sergresh will take that. Because this is tricky to keep safe without just rolling on top of the 4. Well, he's got it thin enough. Now the question is, what's Sergresh going to do? Because he's now hampered over that 5, and that just makes the shot more difficult to execute. It's really touchy. Well, he's played that well. That's excellent, considering the position he was in. So Spectaton has to get this a feather edge. And that also is a good response. Now, how does that look from Sergresh's end? Well, he's bound to leave a shot in the 4 on looking at this angle. I mean, if he plays the edge, which you can see, he's only going to cut it towards the pocket. He's went the other way. And now, well, he'll take that. That's as safe as anywhere where that 4 ball is now. Well, this is a 4 ball rack. Whoever gets this is going to win it. And again, when you're 3-1 down, you want it to be you, or the match will run away from you. And Sergresh has dug out a pot in the 4. He's going to have to dig out another one though. And he's got to watch the cue ball here. And another good shot to follow it up. So now a straight in 6 to get back to within 1. Well, that was well done. I think that was a 4 ball that was in, but the cue ball follows it, I think. Oh, just what you don't want. And again, there's a table here crying out just to be cleared up here. Inspector Dawn is just the man to do it. Sergresh just when he needed a wee bit of a favour. He got nothing out of it, and the worst thing happened. He ends up giving ball in hand. Well, he should be fine here. He's just the wrong side to be critical of the six, but you know he's got all the area to work with to really control the cue ball, which he's done. So the lead goes back to 2, 4 racks to 2. Ball's getting all over the place here. Oh, this is tricky. That was another good shot. Well, it's a bad sign here for Sergaresh. Spectadon is finding a gear by the look of it. Just at the right time to stretch away in this match. Now I presume the 6 ball goes. Yes, it does. Loads of room. Oh, the lead's going to go to 3. But that 6 ball money ball is there all the time for Sergaresh if he can get a shot at it, that is. So the 6 ball went in the break, which was Sergaresh's money ball. It comes back up and Spectadon stays at the table. And again, he's got a table that's perfect. He's getting the type of table that Sergaresh wanted from his break. Sergaresh hasn't had a sniff. And Spectadon again should be widening the gap. Really hit that and got the stun working, got the cue ball right into play. So he's got to go down right side here. Got a nice angle to get back that way. He's just left it a bit short though. It's bedhead territory. And now everything's good. Well, it's not as if Sergaresh has been making a whole heap of mistakes here. He's not had the opportunity to. And balls again flying in. 9 ball. Well, I thought the 9 ball was one. That was a 1 ball that's gone. 1 in the 8. Thin cut in the 2. Or bank. Three ball in open play, and everything else is in open play. Now, he could try and bump the 7, and he has done. Now, the 7 needs to get out of the way, which it has done. And this is this mode that's now he's left this a bit short, I think, the wrong side, so he's either going to draw off this and maybe try and bump into the 7 again, or come down to the short rail on the bottom. He's digging in, so he should be coming back across. No, he is going to the rail, and that is perfect. Perfect little angle in that 5. And Spectre Dawn is on a roll now. He's heading to the finishing line. Well, this must be what? Is it the 3rd rack in a row, or is it the 4th? I've lost track. So, a 7-2 lead and a long way back for Sergaresh now. He might not get back to the table the way this is going. And Spectre Dawn's break's been working pretty damn good all night. And again, look at the table. He's got a ball and everything is on. And this is another one. This is going to get him to the hill. Where's this going to go wrong? Well, there's a possibility it could go wrong here if he goes way too deep on this 4 ball. But he really shouldn't be. I mean, he should always be leaving this short in the 4 ball, top side of it, like that. And the next tricky shot is getting good in the 5. That's a wee bit trickier. He might have to leave the longer distance cut in this 5, unless he gets really good down the short side. And that's where he's heading. And once again, he could not have played that any better. That is absolutely spot on. Can go around the other side for the 6 into the opposite corner, or right around the corner like that. He had all the choices there by getting good on that 5. And poor Sergaresh, I don't think he'll be getting out his chair. Well, I'm going to have a look at the stats for Spectre Dawn, because I'm pretty certain he's running 4 or 5 racks here. And that'll be an easy enough stat to spot on on the stats at the end of the tournament. That's the only thing I'm going to be looking at, and then I'm heading to bed. Well, is it the bank or is it the cut? It's the cut. And a little dinky cut into the side for 8-2. And we are now 3 hours and sort of 7 minutes into the tournament tonight, so it is going to be an earlier finish, which I've got no complaints about. Now, can Spectre Dawn take it all the way? Well, he's certainly going to get revenge on Sergeresh. I think there's no doubt about that now. It's just a question of whether he can take it all the way and finish this match on a high. And no sooner have I said that than I think he's dry. But once again, now that he's come up dry, poor Sergeresh can't get a roll. He's on nothing. He's got no real shot. This match could be all over with a 3-9 combo. That's a possibility. But Sergeresh has got to protect this one ball. And I don't think that's it. Well, this is sitting good for a billiard onto the 8. But the one ball is going to come into the table and he might not have a shot on it. That's the only problem with that. The one is very tight to cut it clean, and he just caught the 8. So this is what you call last chance saloon for Sergeresh. It's tough from where this cue ball's sitting. He might have to leave the long cut in the 2, and it certainly will be now. But can he get out of there clean and avoid the 5 ball? Well, you can see that he just caught the 5. The cue ball got a bump in the jaw and he was on the 3-9 combo. But Spectre Dawn is going to be either leaving it on the short side or trying to get up for the cut. You know, he's got the cut. I think he would have liked to come through there and make it simpler and just have played the combo. So all we're interested in the end of this tournament is the Rack's high run. I'm just going to double check that. I think it would be about, it must be 5. I'm giving him 5. It seemed like that anyway. It might be 6 for all we know. So is Spectre Dawn completing the finishing touches to a final that he has dominated. It looks like it now that that 4's got in. The rest is elementary, my dear Watson. So a good run for Sergeresh, a good win against Spectre Dawn, sending him to the one lost side, but revenge is sweet. And he's made it big time with that run that he had right in the middle of the match. That took the match completely away from Sergeresh. And Sergeresh hasn't really had a look at his 6 ball at all for like half an hour. And but for that dry break, Spectre Dawn could have ran out the whole match there with that run he was on. So a very, very strong finish in this final for Spectre Dawn, and yet another Friday night 9-ball success. Done the hard way from the one lost side. Well done to Spectre Dawn, well done to Sergeresh. for getting there, but there's no answer to that when you can't get a shot. Right, quick look at this stat. That's the interesting one to see. Now I wonder if that's finally updated. Where are we? And that's why I'm on the snooker thing, because I'm on that tab, that's why. Right, that's the one we're interested in. And we'll go to break stats. Expected on 37 breaks. He's breaking well all night. Well over 1 ball in the break. 11 run-outs from the break. He's had 1 scratch. This is the one. Well, according to that, he had 4. It seemed longer than that. But Rack's high run 16 in the whole tournament. And 97.37% money ball shot. Well in front of everybody else. Apart from John Boo, who was 100, but John Boo left the room earlier. So that is it, folks. Thanks for staying with us. I'm heading to bed. Try and catch some of those matches over the weekend. They should be very interesting to watch. I'll be here on Sunday night at 7 PM for the match on the match between LS3 and Tommy in the Virtual World Bank Pool Championship. Slim will be doing a couple of matches, one on Sunday I think, and the one on Monday. I don't know whether he'll do the other one that appeared, the one with Mal, but we'll worry about that near the time. So take care, and I will bid you good night.